Hey everyone, and welcome back to the SolidWorks for Beginners tutorial series. In this video I'm going to be going over some of the more common 3D commands in SolidWorks. I'll be covering some of the basics for 3D modeling, including Extruded Boss, which is used to extrude a profile along a straight axis, Revolve, which is used to rotate a profile around an axis, Sweep, which is used to create a profile that follows a path, Extruded Cut to remove material, and Fillet to round edges and break corners. Alright, so hopefully after the last video you have a pretty good idea of how to do sketches in SolidWorks and what all the different commands are. And don't worry too much if you don't at this point. We're going to be using sketching a lot more as we go forward with these tutorials. So you get plenty of practice as we start working on more and more things within SolidWorks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new part here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the Features tab, and this is where we'll be focusing on this video is the features. Last time we've talked a lot about sketching and how to create different profiles. Now we're going to be able to create some 3D geometry with those sketch commands that we learned in the last video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start an Extruded Boss base, and this is kind of your most basic 3D feature command. And just like we've seen in the past, it brings up the planes that I can select from. I'm going to start a sketch on the top plane. And I am going to start a center point rectangle right in the center here. And then I'm going to use my right click drag to select my dimension here. And I'm going to dimension this to 2 inches by 4 inches. And I'm actually going to make this 2.5 by 4. And then I'm going to go back to my features, and I'm going to complete this by clicking the Extruded Boss base. I also could have clicked the end sketch or finish sketch button in the top right here, and that would have completed my sketch and then started the Boss Extrude command. So with the Boss Extrude command and some of the other feature commands, you're typically going to have a from selection. So this will allow you to select the start point of your extrude or your 3D feature. So by default, it's going to be on the sketch plane. And that just means that it will be starting that extrude right from the plane which you started the sketch. You also have surface or plane, so you can select different surface or plane or a vertex, or you can offset from the current plane. So for example, if I put in 2 inches there, it would start that extrude 2 inches offset from the plane where the sketch was started. Most of the time you're just using the sketch plane from option to start your extrude. So then the next option is to set the distance of your extrude, and you have direction 1 and direction 2. If you just want a one-way extrude, you only work with this direction 1, so I could enter 2 inches there to extrude that out 2 inches. If I did want to extrude that the other direction as well, I can also make that 2 inches the other direction, or whatever other value I would want there at that point. In this case, I'm not going to do that. Let's look at what other options we have. So up to vertex, up to surface. I can show those later as we start building out a model. I don't have any other model geometry to reference to be able to use those options at this point, but we'll use them later on. Same with offset from surface up to body. Midplane is one that I could use right now. If I wanted that 2-inch extrude distance to be centered on the plane, on the sketch plane, I could do that. So in this case, we have 1 inch this way and 1 inch to the negative. Again, though, in this case, I'm just going to do blind 2 inches, and let's hit OK there to complete that. Now we have a 3D box, basically. So now let's create another Extruded Boss base on top here. I'm going to create 2 circle pegs, almost like a little Lego here. And I'm going to do similar to what I've shown in previous videos. I'm going to connect those two, and then I'm going to right click, select midpoint, attach that to the origin, go horizontal, dimension this to 2 inches. And I'm going to dimension one of these circles to 1 inch, and then I'm going to select both of my circles and make them equal. And then again, I started this sketch through clicking the Extruded Boss base first, so I could just select the finish sketch here and it will start an extrude. Go back to my isometric view here, and by default it's going to go back to the 2-inch input that I gave to the last extrude command. I don't want that in this case. I'm going to put 0.5. And again, we're kind of making this Lego-like shape. You'll notice a new checkbox here. It says Merge Result. Merge Result is a checkbox that will allow you to merge this new geometry with the existing geometry. So that will only show up once you have some existing 3D geometry. Also now, since I have 2 separate contours, by default when I created the command, it's going to grab the whole sketch. But let's just say I wanted only one of these circles. I could select them individually. So those individual profiles could be selected, and it will say sketch region. So a region within sketch 2 then will be selected rather than the entire sketch. If I want to go back to selecting the entire sketch, I can just go back to my model here, select the sketch, and hit OK. So now I'm actually going to create a revolve. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect these two pegs with kind of a sweeping radius here. Kind of continue this round for profile, but we'll connect those almost like a handle on it, like a kettlebell weight or something like that. Let's go ahead and do that. I'll click the revolve command, click on one of those faces, and then I'm just going to convert entities here, and then I'm going to start a reference line to use as a center line to rotate this profile around this axis. So complete that. I'll complete my sketch, and it should, yep, it goes ahead and it previews that revolve command. And it's similar to the Boss Extrude in that it gives you two different directions. Rather than a dimensional input, it's taking an angular input. And then it's also asking for this axis of rotation. Since there was only one reference line or one center line in my sketch, it automatically grabs that and assumes that that's the center line for your revolve. So it makes it a nice, easy workflow. So like I said, I want to start the revolve here on this face and end it on that face. What I could do is just enter in 180 degrees, and that would end me right at the other one. But even better than that, again, we always want to try to leverage the parametric and relational nature of a 3D modeler like SolidWorks. So we always want to try to use reference features that are consistent with design intent. So my intent is that I want it to start on this face and end on that face. Yes, 180 degrees is the right answer, but I want to actually select that face wherever possible, so that if those features were ever to change somehow, this design still kind of holds true. So let's hit OK there, and now that is connected. So now probably the next most common command that you're going to be using is going to be the Extruded Cut, and that's how you cut away material once you've kind of built it up, right? If you've used an Inventor before, probably used to seeing cutting and extruding all in one command. SolidWorks does split that out into two different commands. So if I want to create a hole or some kind of cut through into this face, I can select that cut command, select my face, and let's say we want to do a slot in this case. And I'm going to dimension this slot up 1 inch from the bottom, and my reference geometry, and make that vertical there. By the way, I have some hotkeys bound for horizontal, vertical, coincident, all of that type of stuff. So if you see me quickly creating those relationships, that's how I'm doing it. Just my personal preference and workflow. I'll have videos on how to set that up later. So let's make that 1.5 inches, and then I will complete the sketch here. So now it's starting a cut extrude, and again, it's going back to that 1/2 inch dimension that I put in. So now if I look at my direction options in here, there's through all, both. Through all is going to go through all geometry in this direction. Through all both is going to go through all geometry in both directions. Up to next is going to go up to the next surface. So in this case, through all and up to next would result in kind of the same thing. Let's say there was another feature out here, up to next would end at this face because that's the next face that this cut intersects. But if there were some other feature beyond that, it wouldn't extrude through that. Through all does extrude all the way through any model geometry in that direction. There's up to vertex. So if I wanted to select this as my vertex, it would go right up to that vertex. I can go up to surface and again click that surface. So offset from surface, let's say I wanted to be 1/2 inch away from that surface. It would extrude up until you're 1/2 inch from the selected surface. Then up to body, we're working with a single body part, so that doesn't really apply. And then mid plane, we are really on the edge, so there's nothing to extrude cut that way, so that doesn't make sense in this case. So anyway, up to next or up to surface are probably the most apt in this case. I'm just going to pick up to next, and that will put a slotted cut all the way through our part here. Now next, let's go ahead and jump into fillets. So we saw how to use a sketch fillet. The feature fillet is very similar. I'll just go through the basics here. It has gotten quite a bit more flexible over the years as far as the inputs and ways that you can control filleting in the 3D in SolidWorks. But just to go over the basics quick, if I run that command and start selecting edges, I can start picking edges to fillet. I can put in my input dimension there to create whatever radius I want. And also, rather than picking individual edges, I could also just click an entire face and it would grab all edges on that face. So it's actually grabbing these internal radiuses as well to go around that. So if I complete that, interesting, it's not grabbing that. Not sure why it took away that edge. Not sure why it took away those edges or previewed it, but it didn't actually select them. So I can come back in and select those manually to complete that. Now those fillets are there. So one thing I'll also point out, let's say I didn't want this fillet anymore, or I want to see what it looks like without it. You can right click over here and suppress features at any time. The other thing I could do is grab this line and actually roll back my model to a previous state. Let's say I forgot to add some feature at this point that I want to build off of in later features. I could do that here beforehand. For example, I could go like this, and let's just say I want to do a cut extrude up to the surface. Okay, there, kind of take a little notch out of it. Now when I go to do my revolve, it's actually grabbing that feature in the revolve. Obviously, if I wanted that profile to kind of continue all the way through, I would have had to edit this circle as well, but just an example there of how I can roll my model back, change some geometry, and then because of the way I set this up by converting that face entity, it's actually going to carry that through into the revolve sketch profile. So if I were to go into this sketch here and look at that, again, it's converting that face entity because I thought far enough ahead to think about that in terms of how I was setting up my sketches. All right, so I'm actually going to delete this. Go ahead and delete that. I'll delete the sketch as well, and you can see that again because of the way I had my sketch set up. Now it just basically repaired that cut. It converted the entity as a full round circle without that notch in it anymore, and we're back to the state that we were in before. One other thing I want to show quick simple demonstration of a shared sketch. So if I roll back to this point, I want to edit this feature so that I'm actually going to split these two extrudes out into two different features. So I'm going to use the same sketch to create the first peg here, and then if I want to do a second extrude using that same sketch, I can come back into my feature tree, select that sketch again, do another extrude, and then if I come down to select contours here, I'll just delete those out, select my other one, I could actually make this a different dimension like that, for example. And what this is going to do is actually very likely going to break my revolve. So, yep, it did break that. So let's see what warnings we're getting. On the sketch, it's saying unable to offset one or more sketch entities. So let's go into that sketch by right-clicking and editing sketch. So it looks like my convert entities is broken. Probably the best way to repair this is to delete this entirely, convert those entities back, close the sketch. My revolve is still broken, very likely because now, my surface is no longer the same surface feature. I created a different feature in my model tree here. So before that was a face that lived within Boss Extrude 2, and now it's Boss Extrude 3. So if I wanted to, I could kind of repair that by clicking that way. Not a great revolve. That's probably not the way to do it. This would probably have to be a sweep at this point to do this right, but let's go ahead and click OK there. So I still have an error here, and I think it's going to be in the sketch plane. So after changing some of those features, I think I got to go back in here and reselect my sketch plane. Yep. So the sketch plane that sketch was created on is now missing after editing that stuff, so I can delete that, reselect my sketch plane, click OK there. And I fixed all the errors. Still not a great model, right? This is not the right way to do that, but just showing off that example of using a shared sketch. When you create a shared sketch, it'll show that little hand symbol underneath the sketch icon to show you that it is shared like that. Maybe a better example of using a shared sketch might be something like this, where if I wanted to kind of sketch out all of the hole type features that I wanted into one sketch, I could do that like this, for example. So making that horizontal, and let's say we want to make this 0.375. Grab both of these circles, make them equal like this. And then I'm going to dimension this 1/2 inch from the top, and we'll make this 3 inches wide. So once I finish this, it's actually going to extrude those two holes all the way through, just like I did with the slot. So if I finish that, now I have two holes. But let's say I didn't want those holes to go all the way through. Again, I can come in, edit my cut feature, and select just this contour to do one cut all the way through. And then again, if I click the sketch, there's more to that sketch, right? There's the 2 holes there that I'm not using yet. If I come in here, do another cut extrude, and then select these 2 contours, just like this. I'm going to delete the sketch 4 out of there. And then I want to do blind, let's say 1 inch, like that, for example. Now I have 2 blind holes, and then the slot cut that goes all the way through, and that's all using the same sketch. So I can manage all of those whole features from the same sketch. All right, so the last thing we'll do in this video is we'll use the Sweep Boss command to actually kind of fix this revolve. So the revolve really no longer applies since I kind of broke it by making 2 different height pegs. It's really not the right command to use anymore in a scenario like that. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just suppress the revolve, and then I'm going to roll my sketch back all the way to there, and then I'm going to add a another sketch, and you'll see why in a second, but I'm going to create a sketch. I'm going to go into my feature tree, and I'm going to select the front plane, and what I'm going to do here is create a sketch profile or a path for the sweep command so that I can follow that circle profile along this path, basically, right? So I'm just going to dimension this here to get this fully constrained. I'll make this 1 inch, and now we have a path that this sketch can now follow using the sweep command. So I can select both of these sketches like that, go to the sweep command, and it automatically previews that sweep. So the way the sweep works is you give it a profile and then one path for that profile to follow, and it kind of shows you here. So this is my profile and this is my path, and when I click OK there, now we have a much better looking little sweep or handle or whatever that feature might be, right? So now I can roll my everything forward, and there you have it, just kind of a simple part to show off some of the basic 3D commands in SolidWorks. All right, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this gave you a pretty good idea of some of the more basic features to use in SolidWorks to create 3D models. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future tutorials, where I'll be covering more of the features in SolidWorks and things like assemblies, so you don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.